we're going to talk Offensive Rookie of the Year. Peter, you do the honors. Get us started off here.
It was an incredible draft with so many rookies. And then we see guys like Isaiah Pacheco be a 7th rounder and light it up, and Romeo Doubs in the 4th round. And yet, I am going for my Offensive Rookie of the Year prediction, the pride of Wichita, Kansas, 5'11", 220 pounds, and I think the big star who's going to be the big face in New York City this fall, Breece Hall as my Offensive Rookie of the Year prediction. I think the Jets are going to rely on Breece Hall a whole lot. You think about Mike LaFleur's offense and what the 49ers do. Zoltar, take me there.
He wants to be big for the Jets this year.
This is it. That is pretty cool.
That's a lot.
That is a pretty cool animation, and Breece Hall's going to be a pretty cool player. I know Michael Carter's back there, and if you're a fantasy owner, you're like, wait, who's getting here? Don't worry, they're both going to get carries. This is the 49ers offense that they're running, in that Shanahan designs it where everyone's going to get their touches. But Breece Hall, he's been compared to Matt Forte in that he can catch the ball out of the backfield, he can run the ball. If the Jets do anything this year, it's going to be because on offense, Breece Hall was as big as what they hope he could be. I know on record that Breece Hall was one of those players that the Jets were willing to trade up into the 1st round to go get. They didn't. They had to trade up in the 2nd round to go get. First running back off the board, and I think the one with the greatest impact, Breece Hall, is going to be the Offensive Rookie of the Year for 2022.
Wow.
Are you guys mildly surprised?
Even with Michael Carter in that backfield.
I just said
okay. It's all right. It's all right.
They're going to run the ball a lot.
I could see it. Sure. That's where all of a sudden I'm thinking more about the Jets running the ball because they're going to have to.
I love it. You haven't talked much Breece Hall. That's why you kind of hit us with a rope-a-dope. Right.
Yes.
In your back pocket. Okay.
Was this a slow grow for you, or has he not been talking about him because?
I feel like Breece Hall is going to be a thing. We'll just say that in this town. And I think that the Jets feel pretty confident, but aren't raising any jerseys to the rafters just yet.
Would you have predicted that the Zoltar machine from the movie Big would have announced it? That's the surprise of the segment. Did you guys see that thing? And then it talked? we don't see that stuff ahead of time. We see it with you guys.
Yeah.
Wow. What the hell was that? Jason, now, do you think the Zoltar machine will come back, or for your pick, will there be some other crazy machination?
I don't know. The way everybody...
It's clear.
The way everybody was reacting as he was going, I don't know if they're just like, scrap it.
But one way to find out,
One
Jay.
way to find out.
Let's go.
I'm going with the rookie. I'm going long haul. This guy may not come out of the gates firing, but I think as the season progresses, he's on a good football team. Treylon Burks is going to be the offensive rookie that is making waves all the time. Let it be known, firecracking. I'm like, am I supposed to talk while he's doing it?
I don't know.
Just watch? I'm going to keep talking. I don't know. There he goes. Look at that guy. You guys can remember who was the Offensive Rookie of the Year last year. I played this guy in Cincinnati towards the end of the preseason. Everybody talked about, can he see the football? There's no white stripes on it. He's dropping the ball every week. He doesn't look good in practice. Treylon Burks gets to Tennessee. He's out of shape in the spring. When he scored a touchdown in the preseason, everybody was like, finally, we get to see something from this guy. Is he going to be a good player? But the coaches have said they've been encouraged. They see a major role for him this year. This is a team whose offense is going to be featured with Derrick Henry in the backfield, but they're going to have to open it up. And yes, they have Robert Woods, who's going to be the guy on the outside as possibly the #1 receiver. But a guy like Burks, who can take short passes and turn them into big gains, who can stretch the field, he's a guy to me that's going to show up big as he builds a connection with Tannehill, and he's a guy that's going to show up and be the Offensive Rookie of the Year this season.
Love it,
Treylon Burks.
Not a lot of talk. Not a lot of buzz.
Not a lot of buzz. But he's going to be a guy that shows up for them.
He impresses you.
Yes, he impresses me. And the opportunity impresses me. A.J. Brown is gone. There's an opportunity. Somebody has to be able to open up that defense for them when their teams are playing against them to give Derrick Henry more lanes to run through.
All right. I'm up. Offensive Rookie of the Year. And I had no idea the segment was going to go this way with the Big reference and the Zoltar machine and everything, but I'll lean into it. If you remember the film Big, it's got a kid, Josh Baskin, who his problem is that he's not taken seriously. He's not old enough. He's not big enough. And so he wishes that he wants to grow up into a bigger person. He is almost like a rookie at the amusement park, and I think there's someone who's going to need to step up big, maybe unexpectedly. Maybe he wakes up in the morning and says, what the hell happened? Maybe around week 5, week 6, when Kenny Pickett is the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers and becomes the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Give me the Zoltar machine. Come on, Kenny. Come on, Kenny. There used to be a position in this league called quarterback, guys. Every once in a while you talk about it. And Peter knows, when you invoke the name on this program, Tom Savage, you know where it's going. Let me tell you the story of Tom Savage. Handful of years ago, Tom Savage was picked as the starting quarterback week 1 for the Houston Texans. And he was a fine player who gave it his all. And he was benched at halftime of week 1 for rookie Deshaun Watson, and it was immediately, obviously, the best decision. And credit to Bill O'Brien, who says, I messed up, I should have started, I'm going to pull him out in halftime. Mitch Trubisky is not going to be pulled at halftime of week 1. But I know Mitch Trubisky, and I wish him well in his career. What do I have been saying all preseason? Some guys just have it. Kenny Pickett has taken the field and has it. I think there'll be some offensive struggles, Pittsburgh, early on. I think the defense will be carrying a lot of water. And I think that man right there is going to take the field and have a surge, almost a Roethlisbergian youthful surge coming off the bench as the young starter for the quarterback. Kenny Pickett, come playoff time, will also be the offensive rookie of the year for Pittsburgh Steelers. That's my guy.
No
Let's
concern.
go.
Love it.
It's going to take a lot, though.
No concern that it's going to take him a couple weeks to earn that spot?
Absolute concern, Jamie.
Absolute concern. Okay.
It's out there, and Mitch can run the ship, and he knows how to be a professional quarterback.
Yeah.
But my faith is in Pickett and it's in Tomlin to say my team, my city, my league.
Tommy Maddox started the first couple of weeks for the Steelers.
Maddox.
He was replaced by Ben Roethlisberger. They went right to the playoffs.
I think we're going to see history repeating itself, as it often does with the Pittsburgh
Right to the
Steelers.
playoffs.
We'll get to that later in this week, my
He
friend.
did win.
Prediction week.
Later this week. Prediction.
Little foreshadow.
Erdal.
I'm going to go with the guy who, in our preseason, and knowing him a little bit before watching him preseason, I think he's going to embody this. We love to hate him, but we can't not watch him. And that is one George Pickens, the wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to jump right off of Kyle's shoulders here, and I'm going to use Kenny Pickett, and he is going to make George Pickens the offensive rookie of the year. George Pickens has something special, and it has to be harnessed in the right way. We see him shoving guys off the line of scrimmage. We see him making spectacular catches. All of it embodies who this George Pickens is going to become in the NFL. And we have seen spectacular wide receivers, young wide receivers over the last couple of years. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, the names just keep rolling out. And he is the next one. He is the toe dragging George Pickens out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he's going to be electric. And what I appreciate is I agree with Kyle. Kenny Pickett is going to take over eventually. But George Pickens, he can eat with both of these quarterbacks. Mitch Trubisky, he's going to make Mitch Trubisky look good. He's going to make Kenny Pickett look good. Doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball. He's going to be a star. George Pickens, my offensive rookie of the year.
It's an awesome pick.